They're just so cute. We have our first two new villagers. Welcome back to Urban Renewal, everybody. As you can see, I'm chasing around our two newest workers. I mean, citizens of the empire, the village, the city, the town, the thing what we're building that's going to be huge and sprawling. And as you can see, as I said, we have done a little bit of work off camera, putting up this other I guess townhouse complex. Oh, there's the other one. Go find your friend. Go find your friend. He's right over there. Here he comes. Go get him. They've just been chasing each other all over town all morning, and it's great. It's so cool. The jumping on the bed mechanic, the chasing each other mechanic, it's just so much fun. So we have a bunch of new beds. We have a bunch of new apartments for our villagers. That's really about all I did, actually, between episodes, is just put together that apartment complex over there on the right-hand side. Smaller than the other one because we wanted to make sure the city center remained intact. Although we may have to end up building new city centers as we spread out in order to be able to get the villagers to path right. We have got a thriving village, but the problem is we don't want a village. We want a city. And the only problem we have right now is our city doesn't have a name. Well, I think I've fixed that. We are actually going to call the city Terminus. Now, those of you in the know where that's from. If you do know where I got that from, please, down in the comments below, right now, just pause the video, go down to the comments. Down in the comments below, put the name of the architect of Terminus down there. Not the mayor, but the architect. And I'll know you know that I know that you know that I know that I know that you know where I got this from. Today, I'm feeling like we've done a lot of building in the last couple episodes. I mean, we've done a lot of building in the last few episodes. And I'm feeling up for doing some exploration, but doing it on camera. Normally, I do the exploration in this world off camera, so I basically will do that so that you guys aren't necessarily watching exploration stuff, because I kind of think that exploration can get kind of dull after a while. But I'm going to do actually some exploring on camera. We are going to do some building this episode. We're going to do some building, some theory crafting like we always do. But I'm up for exploring. And the one direction we have not explored yet is out there. It's to the west. We've gone north, south, and east. East is where the desert is. North's where the mansion is. South's where the jungle is. West, we have not touched yet. So we're going to go prepare for our little journey west. We're going to wait for we're going to sleep the night here. And then we're going to journey west and see what's out that direction. Things we're looking for, probably ice. I could use ice at this point. Siri, do I have any messages?
No, only the saved messages from The Hague. Something about war crimes.
No? Okay. Good work, Siri. You're going to get a promotion. Maybe a raise. Maybe neither. Anyway, so we're looking for ice, obviously. I would like to find an ocean monument, although I do have a cartographer that has an ocean explorer's map available, so if push comes to shove, we can just do that. Let's grab some more torches while we're at it. There we go. So we got 2 stacks of torches. We've got arrows. We've got food. We've got our ender chest that has everything in it. So definitely ice, hopefully an ocean monument. And other than that, I'm kind of curious to find things like, a tundra or a shattered savanna or just some of the more cool biomes. Like a mesa would be great. A mesa, a Bryce Badlands, that would be fantastic if we could find that. I don't have very many hopes for that, though, since unless our luck is really in on this seed, because we found a lot of stuff that's really rare close to us, but I'm not holding my breath. So let's go ahead and sleep through the night, and then in the morning we will head out to the west. Keep an eye on the place for me, Siri. Hold my messages, will you? Good morning, citizens. Are you ever going to go to work? Don't answer that. I'll be damned. That didn't take long. We just basically crossed a mountain range, and here we are in an iceberg biome. Well, nice. Let's go grab some ice. I spy a shipwreck, and since I am a fiend for loot, you know we can't pass that up. Boy, that's underwhelming. I'll take the gunpowder, I guess. What's over here? Let's see. We've got a clock. One piece of paper. Okay. Do I don't need feathers. There we go. Iron. Bottle of enchanting. Fantastic. That's more like it. Let's see where that treasure map leads us. Hey, there we go. Ooh. Alright. Now that is more like it. Looks like we've got a dark oak forest coming up with a swamp to our north here. So, yeah, let's see what we got going on in this direction. And I'll tell you, here's why I like exploring worlds in Minecraft, is because you run across stuff like this. So, I know that watching someone just run around in a world without really doing anything other than just exploring is kind of, I mean, it can be kind of dull sometimes. To me, it's never dull, because you always find cool things in every world. Like this little cove right here, this little pond with the waterfall in the background, and the birch forest off here with the tall mountain. I mean, that's just cool looking. And then, of course, the exposed copper, which we are totally going to go get. But, yeah, I never get tired of exploring worlds in Minecraft. Ooh, hello, lag. Just simply because, I mean, if you think about it, ooh, there's exposed copper over there, too. If you think about it, this is something that has never been seen by human eyes ever before. You and I are the first ones to ever see this. It's never going to be, nothing like this will ever be seen again because of the nature of the game and how it's procedural and how everything's procedurally generated. I mean, it's never going to be. It'll never be like this again, and it'll never be seen again. But that's just so cool. I think that the whole idea of it's cool. That this is something that's never been seen by another human being ever before this moment. So I don't know. Sometimes it just makes me want to wax poetic. Yeah, it does. It really does. So yeah, this is why I like exploring this game. It's just the cool things that you find when you're out here doing this. And speaking of cool things, that's a cool mountain. I know it's not, okay, so it's not caves and cliffs cool. I get it. And it'll be much cooler in 1.18, but that is cool. We gotta go check that out. Well, look at that. Right next to that mountain is a village. And these aren't our villagers, which means we can acquire some of their things. Mwaha! Let's go do that. Hello, fine citizens. I'm the mayor of Terminus. You may have heard of me. Is that a no? Fine. What have you got in here? Ooh, if it was an early game, that'd be fantastic, but as it stands, not so much. What do we got in here? You know, that's nothing spectacular. I can basically print emeralds at this point. So yeah, they really didn't have much in the way of things that I wanted. I guess I'm progressed enough at this point that stealing from the villagers just isn't really all that palatable. Which, you know, is not necessarily a bad thing. No. So, yeah, I guess we'll just go check out this mountain now. This mountain's so cool. Alright, we gotta go take a look at that. Oh, wait, we got a couple more houses here, just real quick. You just... How'd you manage that, dude? Alright, back on task. Let's go climb a mountain because it's there. That's cool. That coming through the clouds, all ominous looking as the pillager. That's cool. Let's go ahead and get our preemptive milk, because I know we're going to be killing a couple of banner lords or sergeants or whatever the game calls them. Yep. Y'all done screwed up. The mayor is here. Time to collect. There you go. Good job. All right. You keep them busy out here while I go inside and loot other things. What's in the box? Not a whole lot. Yeah, that's kind of disappointing. There's our golem friend over there. You know what? I am just gonna drink my milk and continue heading west, I think. And we'll just hop off of here, because I think I can survive this. Oh yeah, no problem. All right. Good luck. Thanks for the dime. Is that what I think it is? Yes, it is. Coral. That's the one thing we've been missing, actually, are sea pickles and coral. Huh. I didn't even think about that. Well, problem solved. This is the world's smallest coral reef, but it will do, I think. And I think that is another wrecked ship. Hello, Mr. Squid. I think that's another wrecked ship over there we can go check out. But let's grab some sea pickles and some coral while we're here. Well, it looks like it wasn't the world's smallest coral reef, because we've got these two over here. So I guess it's just sort of disconnected from them, but that's really cool. I still think the coral reefs, and really 1.13 just in general, update 1.13, the aquatic update, I really think that was one of the best updates that Minecraft had ever had, because the oceans are just so much more alive with things like this around here. I mean, just look at this. This is a huge coral reef. Look at that. It just stretches on and on and on. That is so cool. You know what else is cool? Loot. Because we've already established I am a fiend for loot. Let's go get some more. So nothing all that great on this ship. I mean, we got another treasure map, and at this point I'm like debating on whether or not I even want to go there. But check this out. This is that huge coral reef that we ran across. To me, this is more valuable than any treasure you could get, because my God, that's beautiful. Just the way that it lights up everything at night with the squid in the foreground, and what is that? Oh, it's just more coral. I was like, that looked like one of the goblins from the Better Minecraft mod. That was really strange. Oh, look, there's a witch over there getting chased by Enderman. Go, Enderman, go. But yeah, this is like, you know what? This is the thumbnail right here. Yep, there we go. This is definitely the thumbnail, because that's just gorgeous. Yeah, so. Oh, it's so pretty, with the bits on the ocean surface where it's cold and warm, and it's just aquatic was one of my favorite updates. It was the first update I actually was a part of, because I came into Minecraft late in life. I came in at 1.12.2, which was the World of Color update, where they had introduced concrete and things like that. But the oceans were still dead. It was still just gravel from one end to the other. It's like, as far as the eye could see, it was just gravel upon gravel. Old villages and everything. And then 1.13 hit, and it seemed like the entire nature of Minecraft changed at 1.13. And I don't know if it's necessarily for the better or for the worse. I guess it kind of depends on your point of view. If you're an old school, liked everything hard, liked everything, classic, then I guess it was kind of a jarring shift. And I mean, some things definitely did get better. The oceans obviously got better. Some of the mechanics got better. A lot of the bugs got fixed, obviously. Minecraft on servers got better at that point, like a lot better, because 1.12.2 was just a buggy, laggy mess. And then 1.13 came along, and it was just so much better. Just the introduction of new mechanics, and it just felt totally different. And for me, it's been like that with every single update along the way. Even 1.17, even though 1.17 the biggest update and isn't the most in-depth update and doesn't have everything that everyone was hoping it would, which I can see why. They're basically changing the entire nature of the game completely from the ground up. How worlds generate, world height, world depth, everything. So, we have company. How about that? So, I mean, I think every update, it's like I'm playing a brand new game. 1.14 with the brand new villager mechanics. 1.15 with bees. I mean, you wouldn't think that would make a huge difference, but it really kind of did. It was a really cool new mechanic that allowed you to do new things. 1.16, the Nether update, obviously, was a huge change, and that changed the whole nature of the game. 1.17 did the same thing with introduction of some new mechanics and new blocks to build with. It was definitely, 1.17 is definitely, I think, a reason a lot of people didn't like it. If you notice, the people who didn't like 1.17 and 1.17 and 1.18 being split up, the people who did not like 1.17 the way it is now, are people who really like the technical aspects of things. They really like, getting into the guts of the machine. They like the challenges of figuring out different contraptions and different mechanics or the more technical players, I think. The more technical players and the more PvP-based players, I think, were the ones who didn't really care for the update all that much. Those of us that enjoy building are loving this update. We have so many new toys to play with, and it's fantastic. You've got Grimstone, you've got Tuff, you've got Calcite, you've got Amethyst, you've got Copper, you've got Moss, you've got Glowberries, you've got all these cool things to play with in your build. So it's like, this is builder's paradise right now. Like, if you look at Hermitcraft or Empires or Legacy or any of the big SMPs, any of the big Minecraft YouTubers out there, you look at Waddles, Pixel Riffs, Dallas Med, Fwip, Avamance, all those guys. Of course, the Hermitcrafters, I mean, that they're sort of in a stratospheric category all their own. But you look at any of those guys, and they're just having a lot of them are very build-centric kind of players, and they're having a field day. There's just Grimstone and Calcite everywhere, and it's beautiful, and it's great to see. So I'm really enjoying 1.17.1. But I'll tell you, 1.13 still has a special place in my heart, just simply for vistas like this. Just think of how this would have looked before 1.13. It would have just been an expanse of ocean with gravel at the bottom, and that's it. But now you've got something that looks like this, and it's just gorgeous. I'm going to sleep, also in real life, and we'll be back probably at the base. I think we've explored far enough for one day, and I am chock full of gubs at this point, as one of my favorite YouTubers would say. So we're going to head back to the base, drop everything off, and get to building a couple of things, I think. So we'll see you in just a few. And as you probably guessed from that real quick montage, we didn't really build anything all that spectacular today. But I wanted to take today as Beautification Day, because the only problem with the area that we were in, since it's so hilly and all that, it's really hard to light up. So I had the torches everywhere, and there's hills and just weird things. So I wanted to sort of take advantage of the fact that we have hills behind our 5 and dime there to make a little pathway that actually goes all the way this direction and is going to come over here to what is going to be the library when all is said and done. At this area by this little, half enclosed pond that we have. Nothing all that spectacular I did either. I mean, this is basic, some real basic terraforming and landscaping. That, by the way, I'm terrible at terraforming. I've mentioned this before a number of times, and that all the things that I do, terraforming is probably the one that I like doing the least. It's just trying to terraform things to make it look like something it isn't is really difficult for me. But with the advent of this stuff right here, moss, it becomes much, much simpler, because moss can basically take the place of things. So you can throw down moss, and the moss will spread and take over all the blocks around it and sort of transmute them into moss. So it's a lot easier to clear out large areas and make large areas look better too. Like, moss makes every area look about 30% better no matter what it is. So just a real quick rundown. I mean, we've got a real simple little walking path here that I put together. That's a combination of moss blocks, path blocks, and this right here is the azalea. So notice it has a lighter color than the moss, and it's a full block on top. So it looks like part of the path, which is really cool. And you can do the same thing with the flowering azaleas. So I've got a couple of those down here that looks like flowers on the ground. That like flowers have fallen off of this tree and landed on the ground or something like that, which I really dig. That's a really cool little effect that I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of elsewhere. And I've got a couple over here just because I thought they looked good. So we've got the path that goes all the way out. We've got glowberries that I've sort of inset inside the hill itself for lighting, as well as lanterns on just a fence post. Real simple lighting. I really like the way this looks. I mean, you could obviously do huge hanging, lamp posts and things like that, but I kind of like this. It kind of reminds me of some of the lighting you see in like old downtowns for old west towns. Is just like the lanterns, rather than having lanterns hung, they've just got like lanterns on a post or something like that. And then coming around to the front of what's going to be the library here, which we're not going to work on today. We did a lot of building in the last episode, and I wanted to sort of keep the exploration as the main feature of this one versus building. But you know me, I can't help but build things when I'm inspired to build things. So I did. So yeah, that's the lighting we've got. We've got some, of the bushes on the ground here, the leaves on the ground making them look like bushes. We've got lighting sort of hidden in areas other than just the regular lighting out here. Threw in some bamboo down here. And I wanted to keep this area mostly green, because the azalea, the flowering azalea leaves, the flowering azalea uses bushes, will give enough color to break up the texture, but still have green be the predominant color down here. And then when we go up to the top, you can see where we're actually transitioning from that with the moss and everything here, and it slowly transitions into our standard sort of pathways with the different types of stone and that kind of thing. So, and the other thing we did was we did a real quick custom jungle tree with vines and leaves on it in a sort of a broken down old planter here, where we had that area that we had set up before. Yeah, this is another real simple build. It's my cocoa bean farm is what it really is, because we've got a chest down here with the cocoa beans in it and everything. But it's just using, a couple of different types of dirt. So we got the rooted dirt, we've got some moss, we've got some podzol, coarse dirt, and then regular grass blocks around here to make it look like it's just an old planter that you've got this tree growing out of, next to the house, which I think looks pretty good, honestly. And we need, like I said, we need to do some lighting over here. But this is my cocoa bean farm, but I figured I would just do a real quick. This is a really fast custom tree, too. It's not like this is anything amazing. But I wanted to take the jungle wood, because it's the only thing that the cocoa beans will grow on, and make it kind of look like the azalea a little bit. but then add in jungle leaves, azalea leaves, and a couple of oak leaves in here, just to give it a little bit different texture with the vines coming down in it too. So this is like my favorite cocoa bean farm. I've done automatic cocoa bean farms in the past. That was air quotes, by the way, automatic. And it's like the most pointless machine ever, because yeah, you can put pistons together and make it so the cocoa beans like automatically, you know, if it goes back and forth or up and down, it'll automatically knock the cocoa beans off like into a hopper. But then you got to take the things out of the chest and replant them manually anyway. There's no such thing as an automatic cocoa bean farm. So it's like, why build something that is going to be this weird, you know, kitschy redstone contraption when we can just do it manually and have it look good like that? And it's honestly faster than doing it automatically. So I think it's personal preference. If you want to make an automatic cocoa bean machine, it's not like I'm going to make fun of you. I'm totally going to make fun of you. But I think you can make it aesthetically more pleasing, and it is actually just as good, if not better, than an automatic version of it. So, but I'm really digging this. So the vines will, of course, grow in a little bit. And they'll grow down some. We've got some vines over here that are actually covering some of the glowberries, which I kind of like in some cases. We've got some roots from the rooted dirt, from bone mealing rooted dirt, that we're putting in here, just to make it look like this cliff is kind of crumbling down a little bit. I thought that was a neat little touch. I don't know why this one bamboo is not growing. That's really strange. But that's really all I wanted to build today, because I wanted to go build something, but I didn't want to build something just huge like we did in the last episode, where we did 4 separate builds, and I was just exhausted. And this is going to be a fairly sizable build too. It's going to be just an old fashioned, like, I'm looking at the New York library, the public library in New York, as inspiration for it. I was going to do complete with the lions out front, but I don't think we're going to do that. I think we're going to just do a standard staircase and then put something on the top of the library. I'm just not sure what yet. So, but I wanted to do just a couple of minor builds today. So we did the pathway today, and then we did that custom jungle tree for our cocoa bean farm, and just sort of beautified things a little bit, just sort of prettied the area up some, because this whole area over here was just kind of ugly. It was hilly and didn't look very good, and so just smoothed out the hill a little bit, added in some fence, which I actually like the way the fence came out. I mean, I was putting it on there before, and I'm like, isn't this a little bit too much fence? But then I looked at it and went, no. If this is like a crumbling hill, you're going to have to add in a lot of fence just to keep it in one piece, basically, to make sure that your little walking path down here isn't going to go sliding down the hill, you know, if there's enough rain or something. So yeah, I think that actually came out looking really good. So we've got a little walking path that goes down there. And then, you know, over here, we're going to change some things up too. We've still got our Fletcher over there. I think I might actually leave the Fletcher in his house over there. So that'll be his place. But that house, and that house are all going to be going very soon. So, in fact, we should probably move the butcher over at some point to the farmer's market. But yeah, just a couple of minor builds today. Just a couple of things I wanted to put together. Just sort of beautify the area, make it look a little bit more natural, make it look a little less like, you know, village vomit everywhere, which is what some of the villages kind of look like. It looks like the village just came by and went all over the landscape. And I understand why. It's just the way the generation is, but sometimes it just doesn't look very good. But I do hope you enjoyed today's episode. Like I said, it's more exploration heavy than anything, which I always like doing. I love exploring worlds, especially new worlds and ones that I'm really attached to, like this one. So I hope you did enjoy that. I am actually on vacation as you are watching this. I'm recording this on Wednesday and Thursday, and I'll be on vacation this weekend. So you're watching this as I'm on vacation, which means I'm probably having more fun than you. Well, okay, I don't know that, but I'm having a pretty good time, more than likely, just on a little mini vacation. But I will be back next week for more Urban Renewal for the next episode, where we're going to actually be working probably on the library and a few other things. And then we're going to be starting to work on expanding our reach a little bit and going into further areas in downtown, maybe even out into the area to the north where we had our plans for our big farms. I mean, work on building a couple of our first big farms out there, because I'm getting kind of tired of manually getting resources, because I'm doing an awful lot of building and an awful lot of, babysitting villagers to make sure they don't heave themselves off the side or like yeet themselves into a skeleton. So, but I appreciate you coming along. Please click like on the way out the door. If you did like the video, subscribe if you have not yet and you want to see more content like this. But if you don't want to do either of those things, hey, I'm just glad to have you along. Glad you enjoyed yourself. And by all means, whatever you do tonight, make sure you go out and play some games. Have some fun. I'll see you again next time. Good night, folks.